And what a week it has been in professional wrestling. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 2 of the GrapChats Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host. My name is Steve Willis, and as always, I am joined by the man, the myth, the Matty.
It's so radio announcer. Every time. It throws me off every time. It's so wild.
And I will continue to do it.
Even when I listened to the last one back, it threw me off. By the way, I will say, we are looking like the most, pro wrestling as fans. It's two bald guys in black t-shirts. It's the most... we just have to smell and we'd be all the way there. You know what I mean?
Well, let's leave that part up to the audience's imagination.
I just showered. I'm not leaving it up to their imagination. I smell phenomenal
just got home from
right
work.
now. Okay, we're balancing the scales.
It's all about contrast.
We're maybe about par right now. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. It's been a big week. I was sick as a dog this time last week, so...
I got so excited to talk about wrestling last week, and it was so good, and then you're like, I'm dying. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, let's start a podcast in the middle of cold and flu season in one of the coldest parts of the country. What could possibly go wrong?
Unlucky, champ. Unlucky.
Yeah.
I have all sorts of news to go through that have happened, and we will try to get back over the last couple of weeks of it, and I will try to be quick. So the first thing that came up for me was the backstage news after the men's Owen Hart match, which I talked about on the last podcast as being absolutely phenomenal between Hangman Page and Will Ospreay. Apparently the winner was not decided until the weekend of the show. Hangman pitched for Will to win. Will pitched for Hangman to win. So it is very nice that apparently Bryan Danielson is rubbing off on people. Mox leaned slightly further towards Hanger winning, and then apparently it became as a shock to people backstage. Apparently, Eddie Kingston was real upset that the news leaked because no one told him that kayfabe has ever died. But I do love the fact that both of them wanted the other to do it, and I just find it's like reverse politicking.
Yeah, selflessness.
Yeah.
What a bizarre concept.
Very weird, very weird. WWE continues to do a lot of counter programming, just a lot. The first one I got was when Great American Bash is now the exact same day as All In, and then the next Saturday night main event is is also on that day, and then the day after has Evolution on it. So there's 3 shows around All In because reasons. I don't know if it's working or if it helps. If it does, great. No, not great. It's a dick move.
It's still a dick move, even though it's clearly they are different shows for different audiences and different tastes, but still there's no good reason to be doing that. It's just a spite thing.
It's to try and make all the money, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose. Good old JR had successful surgery for removal of his cancer. Not a lot to add to that. Just best wishes to good old JR for that one. Then we had the Vince McMahon case where co-defendant John Laurinaitis has agrees to help the accuser. I hope they rot in hell. That's all I really needed for that one. AEW has done a lot of uploading recently. They uploaded all the previous Hangman versus Moxley matches. I think there's 4 of them. They are phenomenal. They uploaded all of them to YouTube with no commentary. It's fantastic. It is so nice. With no commentary. They've been doing it a lot recently. I love a match with no commentary. That might be a thing later on that we talk about. The WWE also scheduled an episode of NXT at the ECW Arena directly before AEW is doing multiple shows at the ECW Arena. So, yep. Continuing that one keeps happening.
What I do just the idea of doing the ECW Arena for AEW, they've swallowed their pride and just realised that running smaller buildings is a good idea. And the shows are still great.
And it looks awesome because they keep doing all these weird looking venues. So every venue has its own kind of feel to it. It always has that WCW and the Mall of America kind of thing, or when they did the show at the beach and it's fun to have all these different bits and pieces. So, yeah,
it's so good.
I enjoy it as well. Last Monday, a bunch of WWE talent got released. R-Truth got released, which caused much sadness and anger and vitriol and boycotting. Carlito was also the same. Valhalla, Sarah Logan was also the same. She had a long, lengthy post about hers on Instagram. All of they were let go last Tuesday, as of recording this one, on Tuesday the 3rd of June. We also had Elena Black, formerly known as Cora Jade in WWE, go on the Ariel Helwani show, talk about, do a lengthy interview in WWE on her departure. Lots of interesting talking points about what backstage politicking and kind of body practices are still like in WWE. It is worth listening to if you find it interesting. I could not possibly recap a 1-hour interview, and I don't want to. So you should go and just listen to that. It will be fantastic. Slim Jim and WWE have extended their partnership. Now, all folding tables will have Slim Jim branded on them. And then also, I think Money in the Bank had the Fireball ladder. Because
it had both.
Yeah, ads. How great are ads? I love them so much. And then just because we don't cover NXT, Mariah May debuted in NXT, formerly in AEW. She had, if this was, I talked about this with you during the week, if this was old territory days of wrestling, it was the perfect territory run. Show up, have a super hot story for 2 years or whatever it was, win the big belt, verse the top champion, have the rubber matches with the top champion, and then capstone with this big excellent match. Ridiculously cool run. I hope she crushes it in NXT. It is sad to see her go, but hell yeah, man. Can't sugar people for the dreams.
Yeah, has there been any confirmation on what her name will be in NXT? Are we sticking with Mariah May? Because I believe no name has been said in that first promo.
Julia June.
It bothers me. Here's the thing. We know that sometimes talent can bypass NXT and go straight to the main roster as soon as they sign. It happened with AJ Styles. It's happened with Penta. There is precedent for it. I'd love to know what that precedent is, or if there are criteria that a talent needs to meet in order to do that, and in order to keep their name.
It is also it's also odd how they select it. I'm with you. So Mariah's in NXT. Jordan Grace,
former world champion.
Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vacchio, Julia, Ricky Starks, they all did NXT. Ethan Page still in NXT. But, Jade Cargill skipped it somehow?
Yeah.
And I feel like she, to no discredit of her own, she's just newer to wrestling than these people.
Yeah.
It's...
But she came in off a massive hype train, off of a massive run with the TBS Championship in AEW, and that's what got me thinking, maybe a criteria is, if you were a champion in a major televised promotion...
Can't be it, though, that Jordan's...
Maybe you would get to keep your name.
Can't be, though, because Jordan was, Knockouts champion, Mariah was champion, Ricky Starks was champion, they changed Ricky's name, and, all of them are still at NXT, so, that would be... I would be curious. I assume there's some... Maybe, NXT needs the people, or they just want to get them familiar. I'm how could I know? But I don't know. But it is
love to know,
interesting.
for my own curiosity, what the
sure.
criteria is, or what the business circumstances are.
For sure.
Who gets called up and who doesn't, and who keeps their name and who doesn't.
But that is most of the news that I had down. Did you notice anything during the week that I missed? Weeks
I believe
that I missed.
You've covered it all, but I've also been in bed sick as a dog, so I didn't keep up with everything.
Fair. Well, look, there are lots of shows to cover. We're not going to do all 2 weeks of it because long, but we are at least going to do the last week, which had a full Raw, a full Smackers, a joined Dynamite Collision, and then Money in the Bank was over the weekend. So... Yes. Let's do Raw and Smackers, I suppose. Tell me and the people who listen, not your nan, but my nan, what happened?
Okay, so here we go, Matty's nan. So Raw Opened with Cole and Pat. Now, Cole and Pat had their bet over a basketball final series, and it was the Indiana Pacers that won. And because of that, Michael Cole had to wear a Pacers jersey for the entire episode.
Great.
Okay, cool little fun things that you throw in. I like that, because they've made it quite clear that Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are good friends. So having little fun things like that, okay, cool. I like it. CM Punk comes in for a in-ring promo, puts in a big heap of hype for Money in the Bank, because he has a qualifying match later in the night. Calls John Cena a bitch. Okay. Sami Zayn interrupts, because if there's one thing that's with absolute continuity, 100% like reliable, when Punk comes in for a promo, someone will interrupt him.
Yep. Yeah, that does
someone
seem to be
interrupts.
the case, yes.
This time it was Sami Zayn. Comes in to stress the importance of Punk qualifying for Money in the Bank, due to presumably Punk's ability to keep Money in the Bank away from Seth Rollins, who's sort of in this power-hungry heel kind of angle right now. So yeah, there will be a three-way match later in the night for Money in the Bank qualifying.
Who else was in the three-way?
It was Punk, AJ, and El Grande Americano.
Cool. Yep. Sweet. Yep, that's right.
Your mate, El Grande Americano. So our first match was a women's three-way Money in the Bank qualifier. We had Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer, and Ivy Nile. Before the match, huge hype package, video package for Stephanie Vaquer. This was her main Raw roster debut, I guess you'd call it. She's now full-time on the Raw roster. And during the match, I just want to take a moment to give a shout-out to our good friend, The Warship, from Down Under the Ring, because he gets quite excited when Stephanie Vaquer hits what he calls the Humpy Pumpy move. Now, she actually calls it the Devil's Kiss. That's its real name, but it's the Humpy Pumpy move, and she hit the Humpy Pumpy not once, but twice during the match to massive applause. It's over like Rover, this move.
It does kind of suck that that's how she got over. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, she has tremendous matches whether she pulls off that move or not.
But she pulls off that move every time, and that's when everyone gets excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Yeah. It's like and it's just like, oh, like, why is... Like, if you had to ask some people, you'd be like, why is Stephanie Vaquer? Well, she does the move with her ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be the answer. And, like she's a wonderfully talented... I think she's, like, the first ever Chilean wrestler in WWE. Like, there's so much to it, but it's like, yeah, but she's hot and she does the move with her ass. Like, cool. Yeah. Great, tremendous.
She is not a one-trick pony, but it is kind of like she's being treated that way, even though she shouldn't be treated that way. If all you see in Stephanie Vaquer is the Humpy Pumpy move, you're missing like 99% of what makes her awesome. So, I get that. But yes, the move was hit twice.
Of course it was. And
the crowd went off.
Of course they did.
Kind of a clunky sequence of moves towards the end of the match with Ivy Nile and Liv Morgan, but the point of it was to isolate Ivy Nile. Stephanie Vaquer hits a finish, wins clean, and she now qualifies. I think might be the last qualifier for Women's Money in the Bank. There might have been another one later in the episode. We'll get to that. Backstage promo. AJ Styles getting ready for his qualifying match. Paul Heyman interrupts. Suggests that AJ focuses on the Intercontinental title and Dominic Mysterio, which was kind of a background, pot on the boil. And AJ just completely dismisses what Heyman's saying and saying, "Look, I'll accomplish both. I'll get the IC title. I'll get the briefcase. Get out of my face."
He is phenomenal. It makes sense.
Yeah. Video package, pre-recorded promo from Rusev on Sheamus, going over their history together. They have a lot of matches. They've been in factions together during Rusev's first run. Key point of the promo is that Rusev mentioned wanting to break the neck of Sheamus.
Sure.
That might come into play later in their feud.
Sure.
And we cut to the War Raiders versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough with the New Day on commentary. By the way, New Day always great on commentary. Xavier Woods in particular, tremendous talker, and they're really... I think they've found their stride now as heels, especially Kofi, because Kofi was a babyface for so long. I think Xavier Woods adapted to it quicker, but now they're both in their stride and got their characters down and doing really well as heels. Roxanne Perez interferes to distract Ivar. Finn Balor capitalizes, hits the coup de grace to win. So big win for Judgment Day. I don't think it really hurts the War Raiders that much because they're still massive destroyers. So bullshit finish.
I don't think it matters because I don't think the tag team titles mean a hell of a lot on Raw anyway.
Yeah,
so
they've gone a little bit cold, but I think there's definitely room for them to heat up later on, maybe in the build to SummerSlam.
Bloody hope
we
so.
could see more heat around it, but I think SmackDown's definitely got a hotter tag division than Raw does at this point in time.
For sure.
Backstage promo with... pre-recorded promo from Becky Lynch hyping up the Intercontinental title rematch that she has with Lyra Valkyria at Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Becky's a great talker. We know this. It went really well.
Yep.
Cut to Stephanie Vaquer. Went to have a backstage promo. Got cut off by Rhea Bloody Ripley. And one face-off, and immediately everyone wants that match. And that's with talents
They'll do that. They'll do that at some point. It'll happen.
Oh, with talents of that caliber, you expect that.
Give it time.
Back to Lyra Valkyria, who cuts an in-ring promo on Becky, and it's more of the same. I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. Not a whole lot of progression, but we know the match is on. We know the match is going to be good because they've never had a bad match. So great. We go to Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Big Bronson Reed. Now, Jey and Sami enter together, all in, because Jay's entrance is great through the crowd, all the eating. It's great. It's super over, and it's a good thing to watch every time. Sami had custom glasses. You see how Jay has the sunglasses that say Yeet? He got some made for Sami, and they say Sami.
Right.
It was a little touch, but it was nice. Big takeaway from this is that Bronson Reed looks $1 million. This is his first proper match since returning. He has leaned down quite a bit and looks fucking tremendous.
Let's go, Big Jonah.
He looks like a destroyer.
Let's go.
Big Bronny.
Love Jonah.
Yeah. The match was fantastic. A lot of back and forth. It would still, because you'd think with a team like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed would just smash everyone, but there was a good amount of back and forth in the match. The finish was kind of weird. Seth comes in, runs in, DQ right in front of the ref, but it made sense given the rest of the story throughout the show because it's clearly Seth taking out all of his anyone who opposes him, including his Money in the Bank opponents. Mm-hmm. So kind of it all makes sense. Now it looked like they were going to have Big Jonah do the tsunami on Sami Zayn through the commentary table. Mm-hmm. Punk runs in with a chair to make the save.
We go back over there, lad. What's happening? You need water or something, mate. Get a lemon sip. What are you doing?
I've had 3 of those today.
Jesus.
I don't know if there's a limit on how many you're supposed to have in a day. More dissension in the Judgment Day backstage promo. More of the same. It's just this story needs to move forward and it needs to happen quickly.
Could we not recap it until something happens? Like, honestly,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we can leave it out next time.
Who cares? Like, legitimately, like, who cares? Yeah. Do a thing, like, what's it? It's like shit or get off the pot. Like, come on now.
Either end the Judgment Day or do something else, but end the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez with Liv Morgan in her corner. This went really well, as you would expect from a Kairi Sane match.
Small versus big, makes sense.
Small versus big, and I think Kairi does that particularly well. So, of course, the match went really well. Liv Morgan interferes, tries to run distraction. Io Sky runs in, takes out Liv, and Kairi hits the insane elbow to win. And that elbow, she still has the best elbow drop in all of wrestling. And hit it. Win. Great performance from both. We've come back to now Karrion Kross, who is great. Just something big needs to happen with him, and it needs to happen soon.
That's another one where they keep mentioning these like little. It's the same with like Judgment Day. There's like little stuff happening, and like it's slowly killing. Like it's the same thing. Like there's so much. Like I try to look at WWE stuff, and there's so much that's like happening. Yeah. Glacially slow, and it's like I don't care. I can't. It's not even like the instant gratification thing. It's just like we're so far past delayed gratification, even like.
You can really delay it for so long before people lose interest.
Exactly right.
So Karrion Kross tries to convince Sami Zayn to embrace his inner bad guy, trying to turn him heel.
Embrace the hate angle. Nice.
Embrace the hate. You know, very... Let's call it a Palpatine promo.
Yep.
It's the Emperor. Okay. Big promo package hyping the rematch between Jey Uso and Gunther. Gunther mentions Jey Uso spreading himself too thin, which is 100% true. So Jey has... something like 3 matches in 24 hours. No, in 48 hours. Because he has one...
We had the one where he just got mauled by Bronson, and then there's the one at the pay-per-view with Cody, Cena, and Logan, and then immediately the next night is him and Gunther.
Yeah.
That's a bad move against Big Gunther.
If I was... I would have booked it differently, because I think it would have been a cooler moment if Gunther had have said, it's disrespectful for the title to not be 100% when you defend it. Because I think that would have... It would have hit harder had he said that. I don't know. That might just be me.
Especially because even with his matches, he's not defending the belt. Like, there's something to being like a defending champion. Like, I'll defend it against anyone. Like, give me all comers. But he's not even defending the belt. Like the Bronson match, the Braun and Braun match with Sammy, that's a tag match. And then like Cody and him versus Logan and Cena, that's a tag match. Like it's not even for the belt. It's like you're not even doing anything with it. You're just doing. As he did defend the belt, right? He versed Logan once.
Yeah, he's beaten Logan.
Is that the only title match since Mania?
No, there's been more.
Did he have another one?
Off the top
Jey
of my
specifically.
Head,
Jey
specifically?
Yeah.
He has, but I know it's off the top of my head. I can't pull it, but I know he's defended it.
We'll see if it comes back around.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's 100% true. Like he has being a good friend to Sammy, then being a good friend to Cody. and he's definitely not going to be 100% when he's coming into the Gunther rematch. And I think, yeah, had the approach been that way, like it's disrespectful for the title, that would have been a harder hit. But anyway,
it would be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out next week.
Absolutely, 100%. So our main event is our Money in the Bank qualifier 3-way: CM Punk, AJ Styles, and El Grande Americano. The main point of the match just keeps driving home what Seth has been doing, taking out anyone who opposes him. So he hits Punk hits the GTS on, I believe it was Americano. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed interfere. Sammy and Jay run in to brawl with them. El Grande Americano hits the headbutt with the steel plate in the mask. I don't know, have you seen that bit where he gets a piece
it's
of
like
metal,
a loaded, it's like brass knuckle but mask.
Yeah, but a headbutt.
Yeah.
He hits that on AJ and gets the pin. In the close of the match, Jey Uso takes 2 tsunamis, absolutely destroys him, and that's the close of the match, which kind of furthers what Gunther was saying.
Big Austrian's got a point.
Yep, makes a perfectly valid point. And that's how we close Monday Night Raw.
I saw only one bit about this main event, and it annoyed me from a crowd perspective. Because at some point in the middle of the match, AJ Styles and CM Punk lock up, right? And these are people, I think they wrestled each other over 2 decades ago, right? These are 2 of the best wrestlers of all time for many people, right? Yeah. And they stood there and they did the little like tap hands, and then they went for it. And that crowd, for some reason, did not go absolutely apeshit. And I don't know why. Because like surely everyone should have been. I remember when the cursed Punk times in AEW, and it was like the first collision, and it was like a 6-man tag. But at one point, it was CM Punk and Samoa Joe, and they got like Joe tagged himself in and went him, and that place went bananas. Like everyone stood like, and they stood there and they're cussing each other out, and it went nuts. And like, it's insane that this wasn't that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's nuts to me.
That's probably the difference between AEW audiences and WWE audiences, where AEW is more like for the hardcores, for the people that have that long memory of events past, especially in previous other companies, where WWE seems kind of hesitant to do that. But yeah, by doing that, they've lost an opportunity for a great moment. Like Punk and Joe, I do remember the match you're talking about. And how the
Joe
crowd
chopped
reacted.
his chest off immediately. Just started
sent
laying
his
it
chest
in.
flying into the 3rd row.
It was so good.
It was great. It was awesome. And yeah, it was a missed opportunity for sure.
Well, I will get to do the double back around for that once we get to eventually get to the AEW portion of this. There is a moment where everyone should go bananas and does.
Yep. Okay. Which brings us to SmackDown. So, this is the go-home show for Money in the Bank. This SmackDown happens 24 hours before Money in the Bank. So, and that's kept alive in the audience's mind at multiple times through the show. We start with Seth Rollins, promo in the ring, claiming he's going to win Money in the Bank, he's going to become champion. Interesting moment after that, because Solo Sikoa interrupts Seth's promo, and they basically have a bodyguard measuring contest. So Solo comes out with Jacob and JC Mateo, and
to be fair, meat.
yeah.
I started saying it. I'm like, who's measuring up to Braun and Braun? Like, actually. Like, actually.
Yeah,
like,
and another one of those things, like, from the first stare down, it's, oh, we want this trios match now. At some point, it has to happen.
I don't want the trios match. I want the tag match. I don't need Seth and Solo. Yeah. I'm good on that one. Just let the big boys do big boy stuff. And like stupid big boy stuff. Because you know like Jacob Fatu is going to hit a dumb moonsault and then JC Mateo is just going to catch him like easily. And like it's going to be so...
Yes. Let the big meaty men slap meat, goddammit.
Oh my god, yes.
I wish they would have done it by now. Maybe it should be a WrestleMania thing or a SummerSlam thing of Big E's big meaty invitational.
I've heard him talk about this before, where it's like you have to be at least 300. You got to be 300 pounds. You got to be 3 bills, or else you don't qualify. Like it's
that
real,
would be awesome.
Real big guys only. That would be great.
Even if it's like, cash prize for charity or something. Like you don't need a massive story leading into it.
They had a Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam or some shit, didn't they? The LA Knight one for like a car? Like, yeah, man, just give me an excuse to let big guys do big guy stuff. It's the best.
Yes. So, first match of the night, JC Mateo versus Jimmy Uso. JC, a cool moment is JC Mateo just brutalizing Jimmy Uso while Solo shit talks Jimmy on the outside, because it's a lot of like, come back into the fold, rejoin your family, this can all stop. But Solo, with surprisingly good comedic timing,
he's been very funny.
He's good at it.
Funny. He's real good. It's very good. To go from like the silent badass kind of thing where he was in the original Bloodline,
very stoic, like the enforcer of the Bloodline,
he didn't talk at all, ever.
Yeah, now it's like kind of wannabe mob boss, but at the same time, definitely getting to perform more.
Like the casino version of it. Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, it's good.
It's great.
It's great. Yeah, it is.
Now, Solo and Jacob try to run a distraction at the finish. Doesn't work. I think the story they were telling, even though it doesn't kind of make sense, was that Jimmy has an experience advantage over JC Mateo. They only do this because JC Mateo is new to WWE, not necessarily new to pro wrestling, but Jimmy was ahead of the distraction attempt and makes JC run into Jacob. So a bit of a clash heads. Jacob goes down. Jimmy rolls up JC for the win.
Jimmy won?
Jimmy got a clean win over Jeff Cobb.
Sure.
But definitely driving the point home that JC Mateo is quite angry at Jacob. There's always
they don't like each other.
Yeah, and they really lean into that here.
They'll also have a meet off at some point. It'll be great.
Oh, yes. Oh, the meat shall be slapped, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go to 2 backstage promos. Julia clearly wants Zelina Vega's women's US title. And Damian Priest. This is a good one. I like this one better. He shows a lot of respect to Jacob Fatu, but at the same time also made it clear he wants to take the United States title from Jacob Fatu. These two, I think it's a match we definitely want. Again, big meaty men shall slap meat.
That will also be sweet, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, showing that they definitely have respect for each other as well. Both having that grew up on the streets kind of feel about both characters.
Yep.
So and I think that match will be a banger once it eventually happens. We have a no DQ match. The Bakersfield Brawl, I believe they called it, because they're in Bakersfield, California.
Sure.
Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. As one could imagine, quite a lot of interference on the outside from Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. Zelina hits a super code red on Piper Niven. It looks sick, especially for someone as small as Zelina and as big as Piper. It's just, wow. Like, it hits that move and it's like, oh, shit. Mm-hmm. Alba Fire runs in because it's a no DQ match and just breaks up the pin and starts to beat up Zelina. This is where we see the first introduction of the Slim Jim branded table. Because
oh yeah.
Yeah, so the meat snack company makes tables now. So they set up Zelina on the table. Piper's going for the splash off the top rope through the table. Julia runs in with a kendo stick and hits Piper Niven with it. Zelina gets up, hits a powerbomb on Piper Niven through the table to win. Kind of looks weird at the end because Julia helps Zelina back up, holds her hand up, winner, and then belts her.
Yeah, nice, makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, hits a Northern Lights bomb, and we've cut then to a. Oh no, the next match is quite good. LA Knight versus Aleister Black.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Did they release apparently beloved wrestler by everyone R-Truth? I assume they didn't renew his contract because money reasons, right? They did this the same week that they instituted we make advertising money on putting a brand on the folding table.
And the ladders.
Did those two things happen in the same week?
In the same 7-day period, yes. Yep. Yes, in the same 7-day period.
Run everything I love.
But well, we'll get to Money in the Bank later on in the episode. But I can tell you, there were 9 product logos on the ring canvas for Money in the Bank.
Sweet.
9.
Cool. Anyway, sorry, there was a good match on. I assume I will.
Yes,
stop
LA
dying
Knight versus
from
Aleister Black.
Pain.
Yeah. As you can imagine, with two guys as experienced as these two, of course it was going to be a banger. LA Knight cuts a promo before the match, hyping Money in the Bank, and Seth Rollins is specifically mentioned in the promo. That will come into play later. That comes into play basically for the finish of the match. The match goes spectacularly. Those two have great chemistry. The back and forth is great. It's very much Aleister striking. LA Knight's use of a lot of power moves. That's sort of the story they set up. And, then Seth Rollins shat on it. And just to beat down LA Knight, the same through line as from Raw into SmackDown, it's Seth taking out opponents.
So good, because then neither of them have to get pinned.
Yeah. Big announcement by both general managers. So you see Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis come in and announce that a King of the Ring tournament and a Queen of the Ring tournament are both going to be taking place in the lead up to Night of Champions in Saudi.
Boo!
I do like the King of the Ring tournament.
I know, you can't make me be excited about anything that happens in Saudi Arabia. I can't do it. I'm incapable. If the King of the Ring tournament was happening in literally any other place in the world, I'd be hype as shit for it, because I love that tournament. Yeah. To be fair, America's pretty bad too.
Yeah, well. The Money in the Bank's happening in Los Angeles, along with a whole lot of other messy things.
Oh my god! No, it's not. We don't talk about politics, but holy shit!
Oh no!
Oh man!
All right, the best match of the show comes up. 6-woman tag match. It's with all of the women's Money in the Bank. So we've got Rhea, Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Naomi. There were multiple attempts at the Humpy Pumpy move, because we're back to Humpy Pumpy again, of course. I think the start of the match, there was a lot of, she's going to, escaped. They kind of tease it. Naomi locks up the Humpy Pumpy on Vaquer, who, of course, because it's her move, she knows how to escape it, because, of course, and then hits it on Naomi.
Cool. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Finish of the match as one of the better better heel moves that Naomi has done since turning heel. So towards the finish of the match, Roxanne is isolated in the ring with all three of her opponents. Naomi gets up on the apron. Roxanne's kind of reaching for the tag. Naomi realizes that Roxanne is in deep shit and just hops down off the apron and walks away. Just lets her get murdered.
Nah, fam. Yeah. Nah, fam. That's all yours, buddy.
Right, walks away. Great heel work from Naomi. Lets Roxanne get destroyed. She gets... because she's so much smaller than Rhea just kind of hits that riptide with authority, and it's just, oh, yeah, she dead. Yeah, she ain't walking that off. And that's the end of the match.
Beautiful. Love Trin.
Big bit of storyline progression in the next promo segment. So we have JC Mateo and Solo backstage. JC, still clearly angry at Jacob, mentions that he doesn't trust Jacob. Solo tries to sort of calm JC down and just says, look, don't worry about Jacob. I've got him under control. He is, quote, all gas, no brains. Clever bit of wordplay there. Great work, Solo. And we later found out that Jacob was listening in and heard that remark.
Oh, it's the Batista and Evolution bit. Oh, I love it.
Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo.
It's like,
So
they pan out that he was there listening the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like bit. Backstage, hidden behind a wall, and he walks out.
Tropes are good for a reason.
Oh, it's tropey as shit, but it works so well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which brings us to our main event, which kind of happened from a backstage promo earlier in the night that I kind of forgot to mention. So, it's Penta and Andrade versus the Creed brothers. Now, earlier on...
sweet. Yeah, cool.
They were talking about... So, the backstage conversation was about Chad Gable challenging Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. They mentioned, don't believe that Gable can beat Vikingo. The Creed said, yeah, of course he does. And an argument, a fight starts from there. So that's how we ended up with the match. And it was a good match, of course. Chad Gable tries to interfere for the finish, gets cut off by Vikingo. Penta then hits a Canadian Destroyer on Gable, gets the win. Seth and the Bronnies, my two Bronze, they just come in and wreck shop. They destroy everyone. Heyman comes into the ring and cuts a great promo putting over Rollins. It's the display of dominance that they've been keeping that going, but really drove that point home that anyone who's against Rollins is becoming a target. Cody comes in, interrupts Seth, and I like the fact there was no physicality between Cody and Seth, just a stare down, and Cody walks away. Seth walks away. Cody then gets on the mic, introduces Jey Uso. He has his entrance. It's great. The same thing again. A good thing that I do like for what John Cena has done here, because you know when Jey Uso does the entrance, everyone's into it. He comes back to do the looking for an encore. Hit the music again. He does that. Cena's music hits.
Yep, correct.
It's
cool.
Again Cena's Good. I'm here to ruin wrestling thing. Hits that point perfectly. So a bit of a promo battle between Cody and Cena. Cody wrecks Cena. And one line in particular that I loved was, "This is the most desperate thing I've seen since Michael Hayes and the Hardy Boys." Great line. For those of us who have been wrestling fans forever and maybe getting a little bit old, that hit very hard. Logan Paul comes in, sneak attacks Jay, hits the titanium loaded fist. I don't know if that's actually a thing. I don't know if he's had surgery while he was boxing. to get some sort of plate in his hands. Maybe. It's believable, perhaps. But after Logan, sneak attacks Jay. Cena hits Cody with the belt, cuts another promo, and Cena and Logan Paul stand tall, holding both belts, which I think was a good bit of foreshadowing, maybe, because they've made it quite clear that Logan versus Jey Uso is not over. They've only had one match. They're probably going to have another. And with Cena's "I'm going to ruin wrestling" sort of storyline during this heel run.
I hate it so much. I hate it so much. It's not like I hate Cena. It's I don't want to watch. Like I'm going to make the show bad. It's like, I don't want to watch your bad show. I don't. Here's what I don't get with Cena being a heel as a champion. Because he made a point, that first promo that he cut after WrestleMania, he says it was 27 dates. And he drove that point home quite hard and said, after I've done this many dates, I'm leaving with the championship. This is how I'm going to ruin wrestling. You would think Triple H would walk out and say, well, in that case, then, you're going to defend that title on every single date. Because it's clearly and obviously Triple H's prerogative to make sure Cena doesn't leave with the championship. It's not how wrestling works for reasons. Yeah, you think every face would come out and just, curb stomp him to death? And then be like, he's unfit to defend it, you have to strip... I know, picking logical fallacies in wrestling is stupid because it's all a logical fallacy, but
Yeah. But there's got to be a point where it becomes insulting the audience's intelligence.
There's the weird thing now with, there's lots of stuff in WWE that I do see bits and pieces of, and some of it is really, really fun, and then I turn off the main event.
Yeah. You know what? Fair. I get that.
That feels weird.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
That is all of the WWE television for this week. I'm happy to jump over to AEW before we hit Money in the Bank.
I will slam through
cleanse the palate, will you, sir?
I will slam through the Dynamite Collision Fighter Fest Jumbo Spectacular with extra cheese. It was a 4-hour show.
That's way too long.
I have some notes, so we will try and get through them. The show opens with Billy Willie Ospreay, who comes out and talks about how they need to have more unity within the good guys to essentially beat Mox and the Death Riders. Him and Swerve got into a shoving match on last week's Collision. It was actually very, very fun backstage, being we need to do this. We're gonna be able to. We need to be able to do this. It's and he's like, Hangman's the man. And Swerve's like, no, he's not. And he goes, well, have you beaten Moxley? And then Swerve goes, yeah, well, have you beaten me? And it got very alpha male-y. So Willis said we need to get on the same page and officially challenges Swerve to a match next week, which is accepted. I can't believe that's going to be on free television. You can find their pay-per-view match from last year on YouTube for free. Please go watch it. It's really bloody good. It's Swerve and Will Ospreay. He is eventually then interrupted by Crew, which is Leo Rush and Action Andretti, to do some trash talking, which sets up a match between Will Ospreay and Leo Rush, which will be amazing. That match will happen in 2 hours. Okay. Next up is Jon Moxley and Mark Briscoe. This is really fun. Mark Briscoe to me has gotten to like a Mick Foley level of he's beloved and he's over and he's a combination of fun and silly. He bleeds buckets. Moxley doesn't, strangely. This is a really, really good match. It is super hard hitting. Like I said, Briscoe is over as Rover. It feels almost like when Mox took the international title off Orange Cassidy. It's really fun. Mox wins this one by choking out Briscoe. So he has again beaten Mark Briscoe without actually forcing him to tap out. He's just choked him into unconsciousness. We then have our face ladies of Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa take on Julia Hart and Sky Blue, which is a wonderful bit of women's tag team wrestling. Mercedes Moné is at ringside watching. She has her own personal table with like a steak dinner set up, and she's like elegantly eating a steak dinner as this happens. It was silly and ridiculous, but Faces win this one. Tony then rolls out of the ring afterwards and just picks up her steak and eats it with her bare hands because Tony Storm is weird in
Tony
the
can
nicest
do no wrong
way.
at this point.
Yeah, pretty
everything
much.
runs on Tony time, and that's a great thing.
Yep, and it's whatever time she feels like.
Yep.
There is like a brief backstagey bit where like Will Ospreay is being interviewed, and then MJF interrupts, and then he's backed up by Bobby Lashley. So then Bob and Will have a big stare down. I guess setting up some stuff that may happen in future. The Hurt Syndicate then come out to take the ring. MVP talks about how amazing everyone is. This is the best tag team ever. Look at how jacked they are. No one's more dominant. MJF is amazing. He's a young genius. He has something he wants to say. Grand Slam Mexico is coming up in a couple of weeks, and MJF is talking about how he is the best wrestler, and there are other people who are saying someone else is the best wrestler, but that can't be true. So he challenged Mystico to a match at Grand Slam Mexico, which is happening, which should be so much fun. Mystico is incredible. They are interrupted by the baby faces of Commander Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, who is back from the Best of Super Juniors. They challenge them to a fight. They say that Kevin and Speedball should be able to go for the tag team titles, which actually sounds like a very fun match. And MVP says, you got to earn that match. You can't just demand that. Maybe go and win something. So then immediately up next, making their entrance is the LFI, Los Faction Ingobernables, Roosh, Dralistico, the Beast Mortos versus Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey in our, I guess, weekly Dynamite All-Star 6-man tag team extravaganza. It's so fun. It's so fun. Everyone is so flippy, except Roosh, who just kicks everyone square in the face. And then Beast Mortos being more flippy than he should be for someone his size. At one point, all three of the bad guys have someone above their head and launch him out of the, like a conga line kind of thing. And like, look, it's very, very fun. It is the one most worth watching, at least from the Dynamite side of things. It was an absolute ball.
Can we take a moment to appreciate just the striking of Roosh?
Oh my god! There's something about Roosh. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, he has all of it. Like, it's just fun to watch him wail on people. Well, look, and they did win that match, so confirmed for next week is the Faces, Commander Speedball, Kevin Knight versus MJF, Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. That should also be next week's All-Star Dynamite 6-man tag, and will be very fun. Max Caster continues to come out and do his 5-minute open challenge. He is really over as an absolute dork somehow. And then Big Will Hobbs comes out.
People are getting into his chant now.
Somehow.
The chant is somehow getting traction with the audience, and good for Max.
Unfortunately, not good for Max, that Will Hobbs came out and murdered him stone dead. Is unfortunately not good for him. Will Hobbs, like, is so damn cool. I hope he gets some more stuff to do recently. Like, he comes out and just looks cool, is jacked. Like, he has all that kind of aura about him. It's very, very cool. And then the main event for the Dynamite portion of the show is the AEW International Championship 4-way match between Claudio Castagnoli, Brody King, Masquerada Dorada, and Kenny Omega, who gets his full anime entrance. Like,
it's on his weeb shit to such a degree.
He's just a jacked theater kid, and it's my favorite thing. This match is like, I might have overdone it with the last 6 men. This match is so goddamn good. The 4 different styles are so fun, between Kenny doing his big dramatic wrestling, Brody King being just like absolute power, Claudio with all his technical ability, Masquerada Dorada with all of his lucha stuff. By the way, I found out Masquerada Dorada is 23 years old, which is not okay. It's nuts. Brody King bleeds hard way. Claudio hits the giant swing on Brody. He catches multiple people like out of like midair, because of course he does. He's made out of strength. Brody squashes everyone while barking. Kenny knees everyone in the goddamn head. Eventually, Kenny Omega does retain in this insane 4-way. And as he is celebrating after the match, the coin drops, and Kazuchika Okada makes his way to the ring. They get in each other's face. They raise their belts in each other's face. Kazuchika Okada being the Continental Champion. Okada tries to hit the Rainmaker, avoided. Kenny tries to hit the One Wing Angel, avoided. They have the big stare down. This is the moment alluded to earlier when these two face off, that everyone lost their goddamn mind in that arena. And it is later confirmed that at All In Texas, it will be Okada versus Omega 5. Both belts on the line. Winner takes all. Yes.
Yeah. I love the fact that these two have faced each other in big-time main event matches 4 times already, and everyone is still hype as shit for the 5th installment of this story.
Well, it's because across those 4 matches, they've wrestled for something like 4 hours somehow across all of them, and every minute of it was... Last week, I rewatched their first one at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
From 2017? And oh my god, it's still so good. It's still so good. It's proper, like, whenever someone calls, like, wrestling redneck anime, it feels like proper anime. You know, when someone's like, you know, the Dragon Ball Z fight where the beam will just be about to overtake someone, they'll get that last burst and be like, ah, and like come back. Like, that's what it feels like. There's so many, like, they're dead to rights, and you watch them just go like, ah, like fire up
Best
and go for it.
descriptor ever.
That's kind of what it's like. Next week on Dynamite, we get the contract signing for that match, which I'm sure will be fun. And then Collision happens. Collision is immediately opened, like the last show was, by Will Ospreay, who comes out and has his match against Leo Rush in an absolute sprint of a match. It goes only maybe 10 minutes, which is cool. And then Ospreay suspiciously wins with the Styles Clash. Anyway, after the match, Action Andretti comes out to help Leo Rush beat down Ospreay, who is saved by a Hangman Adam Page. Hanger comes down to make sure he, like, supports Will, who has been supporting him. Proceeds to keep cutting very fiery promos on taking back that belt and freeing it from that briefcase. Also talking about how he will never accept help from Swerve that he does not need. At this point, you know, he is in the ring by himself. He's like, I do not need help. John Moxley appears in the ring. And the Death Riders start to circle around him to be like, oh, you don't need help? Well, let's see how that goes. And Will Ospreay comes back out with a pair of chairs, hands one to Hanger, and they kind of, face the heels down, who then retreat, which I think was a very, very wonderful moment. They still have some camaraderie there, which is fun. Oh, God, I'm so excited for that match. Next up is FTR versus Atlantis Jr. and Templario, 2 wrestlers from CMLL that came up recently. It is a wonderful clash of, like, the wrestling bruising style from FTR versus Lucha goodness. FTR is the winner of this one. The chemistry between them is surprisingly good. I just want to see FTR face more luchadors now, because outside of, like, the Lucha Bros, which weirdly they never had good chemistry with somehow for 2 teams of that caliber. They haven't wrestled a lot of luchadors, and I would like to fix that. Please let them wrestle more luchadors.
Yeah, that mixture of styles is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not
Very
always,
fun.
but most often.
Yes,
you know,
true.
Yeah, ground and pound, traditional grapplers versus high flyers. When it's good, it's amazing. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
It was the entire crux of when FTR were like DIY versus the Revival.
Yes.
It was no flips, just fist versus DIY, who were all flips all the time. And it was great. Like, that 2 out of 3 falls is still legendary.
Yeah.
The Don Callis family cut a brief promo backstage to introduce their newest member or person who's hanging out with them now, Hechicero from CMLL. Hechicero rules. Hechicero is fantastic. Hechicero is a luchador that works like a grappler. He has had incredible matches with Bryan Danielson. I think he's had a trilogy with Zack Sabre Jr., which are incredible. Yeah. He is very, very fun, and they're like, we're going to go out right now. They earn a win over Los Outrunners and Bandito, because whenever the Outrunners team with Bandito, they do it in mask, which I think is funny and cute. But mostly, like Bandito gets his stuff in, the Outrunners is still funny, but I'm just happy that Hechicero is around more. I love Hechicero. Yeah. Hechicero is great.
My favorite wrestling is, like, technical, submission wrestling. I love it. So yeah, Hechicero is awesome.
It is technical wrestling, and then it's like, oh, but occasionally I'm going to also pull out some bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
With fun, silly things kind of sprinkled through.
There is then a 4-way match for the ROH World Television Championship. It was set up earlier in the night by Christian to test his protege Nick Wayne, who is also back from the Best of Super Juniors. He said he failed to win that, so you need to prove yourself now. So you have a match, and then Nick's like, I can do that. He's like, great, it's a 4-way match. Nick's like, I think they will set up soon the breakup between Nick Wayne and Christian, which will be fun because it's just fun to watch Christian be a dick.
Yeah, he's so good at it.
He's so good at it, especially because Nick Wayne's dad is dead. So it just makes it easier for him.
It's been this thing the whole AEW run has been
happening too. It
kept
happening.
Dead dad thing.
Like,
but now we get to mix. It's the dead dad and the I'm railing your mum, and you know he's going to do it. You know that joke is coming, and there's 100%. Nothing we can do to stop it, and it will still hit incredibly well.
My favorite silly thing they ever did with Christian was the first Wrestle Dream. The first Wrestle Dream they had, which was the tribute show to Antonio Inoki, right?
Yeah.
And before the show, they have like they're doing this big ceremony in tribute of Antonio Inoki, and like I think Tony Khan is out there, and the president of New Japan before it was Tanahashi, I think. And like Antonio Inoki's like kids are out there, and they're doing this wonderful ceremony, and it cuts backstage to Christian being like. I'm like, he can't keep getting away with it. This is not okay. Like, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so silly. Anyway, this is a very fun match. It is Nick Wayne, Sammy Guevara, Lee Johnson, and AR Fox. AR Fox is so over. So over. Crowd goes nuts for AR Fox, which is great because AR Fox is great and deserves to be over. Nick Wayne does retain this match in ludicrous 4-wayness. Next up is Tekla, the Toxic Spider, making her debut in AEW versus Lady Frost. She picks up this win in like a pseudo-ish squash in about 3 minutes, essentially. Like Lady Frost gets a little bit in, but otherwise Tekla just looks fantastic. Queen Aminata comes out afterwards to challenge her for next week. Please give them tons of time. Queen Aminata is a fantastic wrestler, just phenomenal. And also... Look, I love AEW, but I get to be critical too. This is a 4-hour show that had 12 minutes of women's wrestling on it. That's not okay. That's not enough, even a little bit. Like, especially when you have so many people that could be like Athena and Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. And to be fair... There is a brief segment that I am omitting, which isn't a match, which is Penelope Ford and Megan Bain are out to beat up. They kind of drag Anna Jay out from backstage, and they're going to like beat her up and brutalize her now that Harley Cameron is injured. And Ty Mello makes the save, comes back out, and like returns from injury, beats up the bad guys, reunites with Anna Jay because they two used to be a tag team before. They're going to have a match next week as well, so there are at least. I think 2 to 3 women's matches on next week's show, which is also a 4-hour affair. I'll be fine. But yeah, there is not like legitimately for Queen Aminata and Tekla, like give them 15 minutes, please. Like at least like you have time, and they're both so good. I think I left that comment on the Instagram post for that match. I think I went to go. I was like, please give them so much time. You've got it, and they deserve it. The main event. Sorry, please continue.
In terms of women's storylines on the show, I know that like Mercedes Moné has had the Owen Hart tournament, and now the build to All In. Is there any slight hint on who's a top contender for the TBS title?
I don't think so till after that match,
the whole like division is on ice until after All In, and has been for months.
they do stuff outside of the belts, which is nice. Like Harley Cameron and Jay with Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne, like they had a nice feud for a while. Like Tekla obviously coming in will do stuff, even though it's not for the belt. But yes, like I understand that this is like the biggest women's match that they could do, right? Yeah. Because they're the two most over women between Mercedes and Tony. But it is annoying that it does tie up all the belts. So, yeah, hopefully that gets sorted soon. Because again, like I feel like people are saying that it looks like they might be angling towards women tag team titles because there are so many like legitimately like women's tag teams. And if that's the case, yes, your inaugural champion should be Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. I will hear no difference. No difference. Give Willow every belt. Let her beat Mox. The main event of this entire show, members of the Dobbins Callis family, which is Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and the two boys of Roppongi Vice, so Rocky and Trent Beretta, versus Daniel Garcia and Paragon, which is Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. It is fun. It's a good match. Daniel Garcia is still doing the I want to beat up the Don Callis family more than I want to get my TNT title back off of Adam Cole, but he keeps taking sideways looks, the TNT title at Adam Cole. So I think they're going to build to rematches there. I won't lie, by the time we got to 4 hours into the show, I have significantly less notes for this bit. It was a very fun 4-way. The faces win the match. It kind of ends with that tension between Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia. Overall, a lot of every kind and style of wrestling was on this giant show, which is very, very fun. I just wish it had more women on it. But I am getting Omega and Okada 5 and Will and Swerve 2 for free. So I can't be too sad.
Yeah.
I can't be too sad.
Good show, despite that one pretty big drawback. Still great show, I thought.
I would concur.
Yeah.
One show left.
One to go. The big one, the pay-per-view, the premium live event. We'll bring back radio voice for premium live event. It's Money in the Bank. Now, Money in the Bank always starts, the last few years to my memory, with the women's Money in the Bank match. And a great way to start, I think, because the first thing on the match, on the show, was Rhea Ripley's entrance, which got, as always, massive, massive pop. Everyone loves Mummy. That's just how it goes now.
Yeah.
So 6-person matches, they can be a bit of a cluster at the best of times. One of the better spots at the start of the match was Rhea goes to hit Razor's Edge on Roxanne Perez. Roxanne counters it into a Hurricane Rana on the ladder. It looked brutal for Rhea to take and looked like a just very, very well done move. One weird thing during the match, it happened a couple of times, it looked like some spots were missed just due to not really understanding how ladders work. And the ladders kind of looked very flimsy compared to the ladders that were used in previous years. Because I had a couple of instances where ladder falls over, ladder twists, bends, falls apart. Sometimes it happens, but on this show it just seemed to happen more than other times. But yeah, a couple of people took a while to figure out, the spreader bar on the ladder. It's got to be like this before you can climb it, because if it's like this, it's going to fall over. You'd think they'd cover that before the show. Hey, you're going into a ladder match. Here's Ladders 101. Another spot that looked absolutely sick, and where they did realise how ladders work. Julia and Roxanne hit a gutbuster on Alexa Bliss on top of a ladder that was stacked vertically. So, Alexa's stomach is here. It was, sick bump. Looked bad. It was one of those ones where you just, yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Let's just briefly gloss over this. The Humpy Pumpy move was hit on the ladder bridge. That's all you need to know.
Great. Tremendous. Thank you.
Yeah. dueling code reds on 2 ladder bridges as well. The ladder bridge got its fair share of airtime on this show, which is because they always look sick. Mm-hmm. Cool, I'm all for it. Everyone got a chance to shine. That's one thing you've got to have in every one of these matches where there's so many people in it. Naomi didn't really get a chance to shine mid-match, but definitely made up for it at the end because she sort of got to play spoiler as a good heel does, tipping over the ladder, which knocks off Rhea and Alexa Bliss. Then climbs the ladder, gets the briefcase. Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank for 2025, and I think it's exactly what she needed at this point in her heel run. Good for Naomi.
No notes, 100%.
We had the Intercontinental title a match was made for it earlier that day.
Okay. Oh yeah, on the Friday, the Worlds Collide. That's right.
I did not get a chance to see the whole show, but Dominic Mysterio just randomly called out Octagon Jr. earlier that day, and they got to have a match that night, and it was great. Cool. And it was a really good match. Dom, the heel work just keeps getting better, I think, with Dom, and it was classic heel finish. Liv comes in for interference. Dom wins with the frog splash. No notes. Great match. It wasn't overly long, and it gave the WWE audience a chance to see Octagon Jr. and what he can do. The match was great. Worth going back to see if you haven't seen the show. And Intercontinental title comes back again. Women's IC title, the rematch between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Great heel work by Becky and great babyface work from Lyra. The selling from Lyra Valkyria was fantastic. And, Becky gets the roll-up win on Lyra in a very similar fashion to the way Lyra did it in their first match. So they're both sneaky roll-ups. I think Becky had a handful of tights and gets a win. We kind of knew it was going to happen because of how the first match went, but it was good in the sense that it did sort of further Becky as a heel. They had this sort of this stipulation that if Becky wins, Lyra, raises her hand in victory. They did that bit, and Becky rubbed it in and just really sort of tried to rub Lyra's face in it. And that goes on for a little while until Lyra's just had enough and hits her finish on Becky and stands tall at the end. So it's basically just switching places from their last match. So, one with a post-match attack on the other.
Very cool.
Leads us into men's Money in the Bank. So we have Penta, Seth Rollins, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. The camera angles that they're using for this show and that they've used since the move to Netflix really drove home the point that some of those ladders don't belong there. They're too short. Like we always knew, but it's really emphasized how they do their shots now. It's like, why is that ladder there? It's clearly not tall enough. But it's Money in the Bank. It's a 6-man ladder match. It's a car crash. That's how they work. A lot there's Penta being Penta.
Penta's good for a ladder match, man. I still remember the one the Lucha Bros and the Bucks had in 2019.
Escalera de la Muerte.
Oh, they're so fun.
You got to have Penta in a match like that. He's so good with ladders. There was also a great spot. El Grande Americano gets this spot where I think it was Rollins reaching for the briefcase, and Americano's on the outside. He leans one ladder up against the ring post climbs up that, grabs another ladder, and kind of vaults with the ladder from the corner to the ladder in the middle of the ring to cut off the attempt at the briefcase. It looked really, really good, and we know Chad Gable / Americano, he's so athletic. It spots like that, he makes it look easy. It was tremendous.
We love a like creative ladder bridge. It's always fun. Going back like the first Money in the Bank when like Shelton did it, like that run up the ladder, like it's always been
reminded
fun.
me of that, yeah. We get to a point, I think it was right after that, South is selling on the outside, and the camera kind of shoots him going like this to like bring the guys out, and then out comes the Bronnies. Yeah. Out comes everyone's favourite Bronnies, and then Solo calls in JC and Jacob.
Yes.
So we get that tease of the big of meaty men slapping meat. Solo and his crew get the better of it. Solo is climbing the ladder. You know, the classic, you know, at the top of the ladder, reaching for the briefcase. And Jacob stops the climb. This is the moment. We've been building for it for a while. A great payoff, because Solo just gets dragged off the ladder back down to the mat, and Jacob Fatu says the words, because we all remember him doing that, "I love you, Solo," but now it's "I hate you, Solo," and destroys him. And nice. I didn't think they would go that far, but they did, and it worked. Great work. At that point, then, there's no one to stop Seth Rollins. He climbs the ladder, he gets the briefcase, and which makes the most sense for the story. Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank for 2025. And all that's left now is the main event.
Oh, God. I'm turning off.
Just one to go. And it's your mate, Logan Paul. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. It's good that I think John Cena tried to sort of take this role of almost mentor to Logan Paul, which makes sense given how much experience John has and how relatively little Logan Paul has. But the ego clashes just wouldn't allow that to happen. And that's when there was sort of the biggest hope spot was this point where, the ego clash between Cena and Paul. One thing that did look cool, I mean, it was silly and campy and gross when you look at it from a step back, but in the moment it's cool. Logan has this camera drone that was following him during his entrance. So he sort of summons the camera drone, and whoever's piloting it just flies it over to him. And he's holding the drone as if he's going to film himself doing the frog splash onto Cody. And then while he's shit-talking and wasting time talking to the camera, Cody gets up, gives him a superplex off the top rope into the middle of the ring, and they're using the drone shot the whole time. So you can see in real time Logan getting superplexed, and ended up being like a powerplex. Remember the old powerplex where it's like superplex, then the splash, and you don't see the splash coming because they're sticking with the drone shot, so you don't know the splash is coming until it hits. It was a really cool shot. I'll give him that. The use of the drone, I think, as long as it stays a rare thing that they use every now and then, it'll stay cool. If they overuse it, they'll kill it.
Yeah.
Yep. And Logan Paul hits a springboard moonsault from the apron to the announce desk on Jey, and you got to give him credit. It looked good. Because there was a point where where people keep giving him credit is his athleticism, and okay, fair. Yeah, he is super athletic. He kind of slipped up on the buckshot lariat, or whatever he's calling it. He slipped up on that one, but he absolutely nailed the springboard moonsault. again, from the apron to the desk, it looked sick. The end of the match comes with the return of R-Truth. Clearly, there was a backpedal. Like, they'll call it a work, it was a backpedal. But
they could pay him with all the Slim Jim money they made. They could pay him finally.
Yeah. So he takes down Cena, beats him up, hits him with the belt. Cody hits the crossroads to pin John Cena. The babyfaces stand tall. Happy moment at the end of the show. And there we go with Money in the Bank.
Glad R-Truth is back. I'm glad he got a big... Sorry, Ron Killings. I'm glad he got a big ovation for it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're back on it.
With the tenure that he's had, like, he's been there 17 years. He deserves to be able to...
He was the main event match before they got rid of him against John Cena.
Yeah. I don't know, like, whether they're just basing all of this on when contracts expire or what the logic was. I mean, there was no logic to it, but it makes more sense for someone that's been there for that long to let them say goodbye to the fans. Like, if you have a run that long, let them say goodbye. The fans deserve it, the talent deserves it, and you can make a good story out of it. Why would you waste it? Like,
don't do it all of a sudden.
Given Truth is, 53 years old?
God, somehow. The fountain of youth's in his backyard, I swear.
Oh, absolutely. But he's probably going to retire soon anyway, so let him run out the clock his way.
Yeah.
Let him say goodbye, because letting talent go without saying goodbye, I understand it sometimes is unavoidable, because that's how business works. But for someone with that sort of tenure, let it happen. It just makes
100%.
sense.
100% agree. Also, Logan Paul, to me, wrestles like the way people used to accuse Will Ospreay of wrestling. It is all moves that are great that has no life to it whatsoever. Like,
I
it
can
is
see
just
that.
like even when you talk about like the drone shot thing, when they had the drone shot, he caught it, and then they got up to like when Cody sprung up to hit the powerplex.
Yeah.
You don't see, like, he's not, like, struggling, he's not fighting, he does that, like, whoa, what's going on in his face? He's just, like, concentrating, make sure he gets the spot right.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I gotta get the thing so I can get to the next thing. It's just, it's rehearsed stunt work. It's very good stunt work. He's a very athletic boy. But, yeah, it's like an AI drawing of a beautiful sunset. Like, it's pretty, technically, but it lacks no soul. It doesn't make you feel anything. You know what I mean?
I think he needs more than promo segments to be able to portray character. Because I think that's the difference. Like, a great pro wrestler will be able to convey character with their movements in a match. And I think that's where he's lacking.
The in-between bits. It's the in-between the moves that he doesn't have. The moves are great, but it's the in-between. Yeah.
And being able to show the audience who you are without a microphone in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. If I may briefly talk about something that does have a lot of soul, because I had this idea with the last podcast, which is that there are probably lots of people, because we are old, you alluded to that. Thanks for that, by the way. Needed that. There are lots of people who have probably either not watched as much wrestling or watched different wrestling or don't have as much, or newer to it, or is my nan who's just checking this out and doesn't know beans about wrestling. So I thought that I started coming up with a list of matches that I want to recommend to people that aren't some of the things that immediately come to mind. They're either from like smaller promotions or they're older or things like everyone knows that like Shawn Michaels The Undertaker was a really good match. Like, I don't have to explain that to you. You remember that one with CM Punk and John Cena at Money? Like, everyone knows this. I don't have to explain this to you. These are the ones that like if you type like best
Hidden
WWE match, like it'll do it. Before I did rant to you about this match, because I read you about this match when I had this idea. Have you watched Samoa Joe versus Kobashi?
A while ago, but yes.
Okay.
I'm definitely down to watch it again because I haven't seen it in a few years.
So cast your mind back to the halcyon days of 2005. 2 decades ago. Samoa Joe is still somehow the man. Still. Even though he's younger, like, even back then, he was still like, this guy rules. And essentially what this very much is it feels like the new hotshot is calling out the aging gunslinger for one more fight. Like, come and show me if you've still got it. Kento Kobashi is one of the legends of All Japan Wrestling, one of the legends of Strong Style Wrestling through the late 80s and into the 90s. He may as well have, like, created what is kind of like the Japanese, like, babyface fire. He was one of these big Japanese blokes who would take 3 hits to fire up and give you that one, and it was the best. He was a big, strong boy who hit like a goddamn truck. But by 2005, he was getting a little bit older, so he went over to ROH after being called out by Samoa Joe. And oh my god, Joe comes out, all the fun of the fair, seconded by a young Jay Lethal, which is kind of cool. And it comes out like, and then Kento Kobashi makes his entrance. The fans of ROH at the time, who are fans like we are, who are in the know and know this, lose their goddamn minds, go absolutely ballistic. Like, you watch Kobashi being like, I didn't know this many people ever knew who I was. Like, he gets more and more stoked as the crowd gets louder throughout the course of this match. It is insanely hard hitting. They chop the absolute beans out of each other. Joe's poor chest by the end of this match is just an absolute state. But it is Joe doing things no big man should be able to do. And then kind of Kobashi proving he still has all that grit and determined to fire up and come back. His burning lariat is a thing of absolute beauty. I'm not sure it's a worked move as much as he just clotheslines you really hard. Like, I don't think you have to sell it. Yep. He just hits you in the face really hard. It is very much 2 big guys going back and forth to see if the aging kind of wrestler can still keep up with the new blood. I will not spoil the ending. It is free on YouTube. You can just find it. It's free. You can just Google it. It's there. I so thoroughly recommend it. And the best part, to tie back to what we talked about in the news segment over an hour and a bit ago, there is no commentary. It's just the sound of these big boys hitting each other and that beautiful crowd. And the crowd is so good because they give them everything. They bite on every bit. They cheer them up. They, like, react to every move. Like, they're not trying to make themselves the focal point of the show. They are just so along for the ride. They entirely understand what their role in this production is. And, oh, it's so good. It's so good. So if you have time and if you are interested and for some reason you have not seen it, please go and look up Samoa Joe versus Kento Kobashi from 2005 in Ring of Honor. That
is Matty's YouTube pick of the week.
Yeah, kinda. Look, some of them might be on Daily Motion. They might not be on YouTube. But but you will be able to find them for... I have an idea for next week. It is a
banger?
Weirder. Nope.
Oh, nice.
No,
nice. Weird can be good.
It's much stranger. It's very fun. It's a total departure from, like, this is like serious big boy wrestling, and this is very unserious wrestling. So
nice.
You'll have to tune in for that one. It is a thing.
Okay. That crowd, it reminds me of... It really drives that point home where a smaller theatre, packed, feels 10 times better than a half-empty arena.
I was so excited when they moved the AEW show here that was going to be in Suncorp to the smaller venue, to the entertainment center, because it was like smaller. I think there was like 13, 14,000, whatever the hell there was, but it's like covered. It was a total, like, complete sellout. Like, anyone who's watched that show, like, it doesn't do justice to how loud we were in that building.
Oh,
it was so loud in that building.
I have a few friends that were there. I didn't get to make it to that show, but I have a few friends that were there, and everyone said it's so damn loud in this building. That would have been awesome.
It was. It was. It was. Just like this podcast was awesome. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm so excited for next week's pick now.
Wait, you'll find out.
Let's go.
You'll find out.
All right. That brings us, and we're once again at an hour and a half. Like, it was, that's just how it worked out.
Make it brief at one point. At some point. There's 2 weeks to recap. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Speaking of small theatres, this weekend, this coming Sunday, is Renegades of Wrestling in Melbourne, and I'm going to be there.
Nice.
And so stay tuned to the GrapChats podcast Instagram. There will be an Instagram story with various moments in the show. And hopefully, we are hoping that I'll get to interview some of the wrestlers. So
I hope you have
a
goddamn blast.
Definitely getting lots of photos and videos of the show. So
hey, man, interviews, no interviews. I hope you have a goddamn blast, man. Enjoy your wrestling.
I don't get to go to wrestling that often because I live in a place where the wrestling doesn't really happen. So I live in a place called Albury-Wodonga where there has not been a wrestling show since 2017. So, yeah, get on down to Melbourne to watch some wrestling.
Hell yeah.
Keen for it.
Hell yeah.
And we'll hear about it next week on the GrapChats Wrestling Podcast. Until then, this has been fun. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm keen to keep this going.
Oh yeah! Don't get sick next week.
Promise, no sickness. I will not deliberately make myself sick.
Good man.
But until next week, I am Steve Willis. You are loved, and we'll see you next time.